This is the certification part of the enrollment process. Once you have completed all of the paperwork to show that you qualify for the program, this will start your certification. This form is the Notice of Fraud and Deceit, and it states that you have given us all up-to-date information and everything is current and nothing is fraudulent. All the information that you're providing will be sent to the state of California. It'll show how we are qualifying you for services, and it verifies your need for the program. On this form, please make sure you review it. If you ever have any changes to your contact information, your family size, anything that would affect your certification, that is required to be updated on a yearly basis, but your contact information, if that does changes, needs to be updated anytime that you have those changes, so we can always make sure we can get in contact with you. On this form, please complete your name here. You're going to print your first and last name. You will sign the form here, date it here, and print the name of the center that your child will be attending. Your child's names will go here. If you only have one child that you are enrolling into our program, only write the name of the child here. If you have multiple children in the home, the only children that are going to be listed are the ones that are going to be receiving services. If there's more than one, there are multiple lines to detail that information. Go and take a minute to review the form before we move on to the next one. This is the application for services. The parent is required to fill out the top of this form if you are not receiving it electronically. If you're receiving the paper portion of this form and it has not already been completed, make sure that you include all of this information before proceeding on to the next page. We need the parent's information that is completing the form will be completed first. They are going to be parent A. The second parent, if there is another parent in the home, parent or guardian, that will be parent B. They are going to be completing that second page. We need the street address of the home. We need the phone number that we can contact the first parent here, and or the work number. We also need the contact information for the second parent or guardian on this portion here, as well as a work number if that applies here. Please also include the city, the state, and the zip code. All this information here will be completed by one of our staff members. Do not complete any of this form here, but you can verify that the information is correct. After reviewing this information here, you're going to go down to this section. This is where the family's income will be documented, that we will go over the calculation on another page. This information will include your sources of income here. Please verify that this is correct based on the documentation that you've already provided prior to your certification. This is where your family size will be documented, and this includes all the parents in the home that are being included with your certification, as well as any children in the home. If this family size is not correct, then there is information that has not been provided to our center. Take a minute here. If you are a member of the military, please read these questions and answer the question appropriately, either yes or no. Go ahead and take a minute, review the information before we proceed to the next page. This will be the second page of your application. On this page, you will not be completing any of this information. By the time you receive the document, all of this should be completely filled out. This portion is for your children's information. It will have your children's first and last name and middle initial if it applies. They will also have their gender documented here with their date of birth. Over here, it will state the program that they are going to be attending with the provider's name. So this will be your site name. Please review this information to make sure that it is complete before you complete any of these sections, because if it is not correct, we will need to redo it before you certify your services. So please take a minute. If this is incorrect, please go ahead and stop the video, and we are not going to continue until we know that it is verified correct. Okay, if it is correct, we're going to have you read through questions 1 through 4, 5 through 7. If you are a single parent, you will be completing section 1. If you are not a single parent, do not initial this line. Any other parents, single or other, you're going to complete sections 2 through 7 regardless. After you read through these statements, make sure you initial on the lines next to these statements. On each of those lines, verifying that you have read and understand all of these statements. Once you have gone through those statements, then you will sign and date the form, certifying that you are doing all of this under penalty of perjury. Once you have completed all of that information, you are finished with this page and we can move on to the income calculation. This is your income calculation. It details all of the sources of income that you have provided to us, and this will be all the sources of income for the household, regardless of whether or not you are receiving it. If you are receiving any Social Security for your child, that will also be included on this document. The parent's name will be here, and then this will be the child's name that is going to be enrolled in our program. All of the calculations are listed out here, showing how we've broken down the information based on the information that was provided. Please take a minute to review the information, make sure it looks correct, and review the number of people in the family. This was brought over from your previous application that was completed based on the amount of children and adults in the home. The total income from all sources will be added up here. And then once you have verified all of this information, please make sure that you sign and date this form, verifying that all of that information is correct. I'll give you a minute to go ahead and review it before we move on. These are the other sources of income that would be provided by the family. We have to include any and all sources of income in order to calculate your income correctly. So if there are any other sources of income other than what we have previously gone over, it will be documented on this page here. That way we can break down exactly where we're receiving the income and what amounts are being calculated. Once you review this, if there are no additional sources of income, go ahead and put 0 at the bottom and then sign and date the form. This is your letter of declaration. If you are a second parent and you have no income, on this form you're going to be completing the center name, your name, the child's name that you're enrolling in the program, and the date that you're filling out the form. This form will specify that you have no income for your own, and the only income for the household is provided from the other parent. Once you've completed that statement, please make sure that you sign and date the form before sending it in. This is your notice of action confirming the enrollment of your child, and it will either say that your services have been approved, or if your child is already attending and your child is being disenrolled or recertified, the information will be here. So if your child has never been in the program before, and this is their first day of services that they're going to be receiving, or they've left and are returning, the information will be here. So your first day of services will be documented in this box. Your parent information will already be filled out on this form. Please verify that it is correct. This is the parent information A, parent or guardian information B, and the address, city, and zip code of the home. Your child or children's information will be documented here. Make sure that the spelling of their first and last name is correct, and the contract hours will be listed out here. If there is a fee, that information will be listed here. For our part-day services, there is no fee for those programs. For our full-day services, that fee, if there is one, would be determined by your family size and your income, and documented here. The basis for your eligibility will be listed here. Please make sure that everything that applies has been checked. If you are in our full-day services, then you will also have a need for the program, which will be documented here. Please verify that that information is correct. There will also be a reason for the action, which will specify either that your child is being enrolled in the program and your contract information based on that, your recertification information, or it will document your disenrollment information. Please review the reason for action and make sure that all of that information is correct. Once you have verified all of that information, you will be initialing this form here. This confirms your enrollment into the program, and then this would conclude your enrollment. Once everything has been completed with your rules and regulations, a copy of this form would be mailed back to your home, confirming your enrollment into our program, any recertification changes, or if this was a disenrollment being mailed out to your house, you would have further instructions based on your reason for action. Once you review the information, make sure you do initial it, and then you can go ahead and proceed to the next step. If you are ever wanting to appeal any decisions, this is the information that you will be using that is on the back of your notice of action. The information will need to be completely filled out in order for your appeal to be determined. Your information will need to be filled out here so that we can contact you after we receive your appeals notice. In this section, you're going to explain why you disagree with the section, and you are going to attach any documentation that you have for your appeal to this form when you submit it. Make sure that you sign and date this form, and make sure you have a contact phone number or address that we can reach you back at. Otherwise, your appeal will be abandoned. This information will be used to contact our office for the appeal. It is noted here as well as in your parent handbook on the appeals information. If you do not agree with the decision when your appeals is heard, you can contact the state of California at this address and this information, and they will be the final word on the decision. Go ahead and take a minute to review the information before we proceed.